My name is Banji Olufimoba, and I'm an 8th grader here at Central Middle School. Welcome to the CMS Preview Night. Before we get into the presentation, however, I'd like to talk a little bit about the many things that inspire me at CMS and make me excited to go to school each and every single day. The teachers at CMS are always encouraging us and pushing us to strive for excellence, and they make it clear to us that they care about us and that they want us to succeed. What I love about CMS are the different classes that are offered to us students. CMS offers options like normal classes, but also advanced and enriched classes, which focus more on independent learning and more rigorous coursework, along with AVID, an elective class that helps students improve their writing, note-taking, and reading skills. Quarter classes include art, gym, health, and tech ed. Another thing that I love about CMS are the many offered after-school activities. From drama club to Nordic skiing all the way to math league, there's really a club for everyone here at CMS. I've personally participated in cross-country where I've become a much stronger distance runner. I'm currently in the school's math league and I'm excited for our first meet this winter. CMS is truly a great school to be a student at, and I'm excited for you to see the rest of what CMS has to offer this preview night. And with that, I'd like to now introduce our principal, Mr. Swenson.
Thank you so much for that nice introduction, Banji, and thank you for opening up our meeting tonight and sharing what inspires you about your school. I want to welcome everyone to our preview night. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to come learn more about Central Middle School, or CMS as we call it. I want to begin with gratitude. Gratitude to our community for supporting us. In Eden Prairie and at CMS, we just have such good fortune in that our community over and over resoundingly supports what we do as a district and as a school. And that's evidenced in many of the surveys that we have sent out. So thank you for supporting our district and our school. I also want to thank our parents for entrusting the care of your kids to us. It's actually quite sobering as a principal to think about that. So thank you for trusting us with the care of your kids. So, tonight is all about CMS. And before we begin any of our meetings, we always start with our mission statement. The mission of Eden Prairie Schools is to inspire each student to learn continuously so they are empowered to reach personal fulfillment and contribute purposefully to our ever-changing world. Our mission is really important here, and it informs all of the work that we do. When you think about CMS, there are three things that I want you to think about. The first is something called the CMS Way. And the CMS Way is to be safe, responsible, and kind. And this is something that students hear throughout our entire system. And at CMS, we really try to build upon that which students have learned about in their elementary school experience and make it relevant to middle school. And so students hear about being safe, being responsible, being kind often. The second thing is our diversity. We are very proud of the diversity that we have at CMS. It really is our strength. And the third thing that I want you to think about when you think about CMS is our academics and the high standards that we hold for all of our students. When you think about CMS and combine those three things together, our safety, responsibility, and kindness that we teach to our students, our diversity, and our academics and high standards, those three things combined, I believe, are what make CMS unique from other schools. And so with that, we want to talk to you about some things that are really important to us at CMS. First, at CMS, your student will be known. While we're really proud of the physical safety that we have at CMS, we also prioritize the psychological safety of students. Now, it's no secret that we have a large school. But there are things that you can do to make a large school feel small. One of the ways that we do that is through the use of teaming. And that is where a student is assigned to 3, 4, or 5 teachers throughout the entirety of the school year that allows teachers to develop really strong relationships with your kiddos, to get to know their interests and their passions. It's one of the ways that we take our very large school and make it small. I once was told that you can't make a small school feel big, but you can make a big school feel small. And I really do believe that our size is a strength and that we are able to offer so many additional opportunities for kids at CMS. And so while we're big, we make our school feel small through teaming, which allows us to know your sons and daughters. In addition to knowing your student, we're also going to challenge your student too. We offer a robust array of challenging courses that are intended to meet the needs of each student that comes to CMS. We continue mosaic programming that is done at the elementary school and offer advanced courses in math, science, social, and English. In addition to that, we also offer a Spanish immersion program where students are able to continue the acquisition of Spanish language and learn in some of their core content areas. And just as importantly, we also recognize that students come to us with unique learning needs too. And I can tell you that I've heard over and over again that families seek out Eden Prairie Schools because of the student support services that we are able to offer here. So again, we have a lot of students that come to CMS. Each of them has different needs, and we intend to challenge your student. In addition to knowing and challenging your student, we are going to inspire your student. We have the most extensive co-curricular programming that I'm aware of. In fact, I like to tell families if kids come up with a great idea, typically we'll find a way to make it happen. I was reminded the other day that CMS is one of the few schools in the nation that gives kids the opportunity to perform Broadway musicals. In other schools, you'll see junior versions or sing along with the CD. At CMS, we really believe in challenging students by offering them all aspects of a theater production, including a full pit. And so we're going to know your student, we're going to challenge your student, and we're going to inspire your student at CMS. Finally, your student will have voice at CMS. It is something that we really believe in, and something that I also think is unique about our school is we really value the voice of our students. We have something called the Principal Advisory Leadership Council. It's a group of student leaders that we meet with periodically throughout the school year to gather feedback, to talk about different things that come up during the school year. And most recently, we have leaned heavily on that group to help us design the new spaces that are currently being created at CMS in the construction project to prepare for 6th grade to join us next year. And so again, we leaned on students to really provide important feedback about the design of classroom, the design of different spaces that's happening right now at CMS. And so we're really excited about the opportunities that kids have to share their feedback and really get their voice heard at our school. It's something that we're proud of. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague and partner, Associate Principal Rich Larson, who is going to lead you through the next part of our preview night. Welcome, Rich.
Thank you, Nate. My name is Rich, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the unique daily schedule that we have at CMS and what your students can anticipate experiencing when they come. We have used student voice to inform decisions that we've made programmatically, and this is evident in our flex period that we incorporated last year. You see, flex is a different kind of period where students get to make a new decision each day about where they attend for the flex time. Students can choose to go to a class that they have to receive extra support, maybe get caught up on some missing work, or prepare for a summative assessment coming up. They can also make a choice to go and receive some extension instruction from a teacher, or dive deeper into the content that they've been learning in the class if they're particularly interested. Other times, students may have a discovery option choice where they go and learn something that aligns with their passions or their interests. So in this flex period that will be happening every day next year, teachers will prepare an offering that is, again, either support for their content, extension of their content, or discovery of something outside of their content aligning with student passions and interests. So students are going to get to make that selection. Through the development of our flex period, we used our Principals Advisory Leadership Council to seek direction, to seek student voice as we put this together. Last year we had it 2 times a week, and we're going to be increasing that because of the success, because of the impact that it had on student achievement across our building, so that it is featured every day next year in our schedule for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. In addition to the student choice opportunities that are available to students in the flex period, we've created opportunities for students to have choice programmatically in their schedule as they move through 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. All 6th graders will be able to make a selection for their music option in their schedule, as well as what they have for their art class. And as they move on to 7th and 8th grade, there are more opportunities for choice. As an example, 7th graders will get to pick from world language options German, Chinese, French, and Spanish. And that will hold true through their 8th grade year. Each year in 7th and 8th grade, students will also have a period in their day where they will be able to make a selection from the engineering and technology pathway, as well as from the business management pathway. We take very seriously the privilege and responsibility that it is to prepare our students for success as they head out to Eden Prairie High School. You know, one of the ways that we do that is by offering choice, where students can learn about where their own interests and passions lie, so that then they can make decisions programmatically as they move through our system, which are aligned. And we do that through offering our courses in math and science, as well as in the arts. In addition, the pathways where students have choice, like engineering and technology, and business and management. We also prepare students for success by explicitly teaching skills that we know are essential for success in school. Things like organization, being able to meet deadlines and know where the materials are that you're carrying, writing skills. We explicitly teach reading comprehension, and these things show up through the AVID framework, which permeates all of the classes that we offer at CMS. In addition, we actively teach and assess each of the 4 C's in all classes at CMS, and those are communication, collaboration, creativity, and thinking critically. We know that students are going to need these skills, and they're going to need to be strong in these areas wherever they end up, which is why we make them a priority in our building. We also make sure that each student is known and that their needs are met through our multi-tiered systems of support process, MTSS. Through this process, we ensure that each student receives rigorous and authentic instruction in their classes. In addition, we identify quickly through the work of our support staff, partnering with our teachers, to find students who might be missing certain skills or lagging behind for some particular reason, and we try to identify those needs and put supports in place to meet those needs so that we can achieve our mission, which is to ensure that each student is learning and achieving at high levels. If you've been in our neighborhood anytime recently, no doubt you have noticed the construction materials and vehicles as our building is being transformed. We want to thank the community for their support of Eden Prairie Schools and the passing of the referendum last year, which is allowing us to create space to add 6th grade to our building. You know, we're really proud of what we do here, of how we're able to work with our students, and we're excited to add another grade to this middle school experience, and for that to start next year. A lot of exciting things happen. We are looking forward to it and hope that you are as well, as your student will be among the first group to come through this transformed building. At this time, I'd like to invite some others to talk about their experience at CMS, a student, a parent, as well as some staff members. We thank you for listening.
My name is Tori Schlegel. I'm an 8th grader here at CMS, and I'm here to tell you about why CMS is such a great school. CMS has a very large, welcoming, and diverse community. We have outstanding teachers who teach us fun and new things each and every day using CMS's core values of communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. Eden Prairie CMS has a focused and fantastic learning environment that helps all types of students. CMS has inspired me to try to be the best student I can possibly be with help of my teachers, peers, and support system at this school. CMS really is a great school to go to.
My name is Nicole Urbach. I'm the instructional coach here at CMS. I did my student teaching at Central Middle School 16 years ago. I taught English for 10 years before I became a coach in our building. I work with our teachers and our certified staff members at improving practice, and I support specifically the areas of environment and instruction. The most important thing to know about CMS is the commitment to learning that the people here demonstrate every day. Professional development opportunities in the Eden Prairie School District are second to none, and I know because I've spent time in a few other schools and a few other districts over the years. The investments made here into doing well and doing right by our students make it easy for me to know that this is the best place, not just for adults to work in, but also for students to attend. I believe in the schools here to such a degree that I've open enrolled my own child into the Eden Prairie School District. This is not to say that things are perfect here. The challenges that we face are not unique. How do we eliminate racial disparities? How do we incorporate the 4 C's of communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity into our curriculum? How do we balance academic achievement with social emotional support during a global pandemic? How do we provide more rigorous, authentic, and culturally relevant learning experiences for our students? These are hard questions to answer, and they surface another thing that I value about CMS. That's our leadership. In our administrators, we have principals who keep our building focused on continuously addressing these broad educational challenges in ways that positively impact our students. And so I would say that I believe the spirit of CMS is characterized by the care and the commitment of our staff members. And I believe that the spirit of CMS is best captured in a quote. It's a typical reflection from a staff member after a typical staff meeting at CMS. Let's all just keep learning together.
Hi, and welcome 6th grade families to CMS. I'm one of the counselors. My name is Randy Thompson. And I think about what inspires me. I think back to when I was a young person. I made the decision that I wanted to be a police officer. And I was lucky enough to be a police officer in 3 separate communities: Windham, Minnesota, Wilmer, Minnesota, and then finally right here in Eden Prairie. And I was inspired in that time to be a protective, positive influence in people's lives as part of a community. I really enjoyed that part of the community thing. And when I got to Eden Prairie, I got to be part of a community as a school liaison officer. And I think that's when I really found my passion, working in a school setting and being part of that community. And I got to be a positive influence in young people's lives and a protective influence because I investigated a lot of child maltreatment cases here in Eden Prairie. I think it was during my time as a sergeant at Eden Prairie when I realized I was still yearning to work with youth, and I still had a passion for that. And so I went back to school, got my degree in school counseling, and came to work right here at CMS as a counselor, where I've been for the last 15 years. And again, I was able to be a positive, protective influence in kids' lives during a pretty tricky time in their lives. And I've really enjoyed that. And I think about what inspires me about this place. For me, it's real easy to say. It's the people that work here. There is so much caring and learning that happens here every day. It's because of the people that are here. It's clear that they are incredible, and they inspire me. So for the last 15 years, I've been part of a team again in a small community of a school to be that influence on kids. And that's been great. So now I look back over my 39 years in working and realize that I've been pretty lucky. I've been able to use my skills of empathy, caring, and endless optimism to be an influence on many kids' lives. And what inspires me is that I'm working with people right here that feel the exact same way.
Hi, my name is Daphne Edwards. I was a very nervous mom when my oldest son was approaching middle school aged. All I had heard from parents about CMS was that the kids were going to get an incredible amount of homework, they were going to be overwhelmed, and that as a parent, I needed to be ready for my son's grades to slip. At the same time, anytime I could, I spoke to students at CMS, and not just my friends' kids. I spoke to kids I met at the grocery store, kids I met at dance recitals and at sports games, and they all said they liked it. And student after student consistently said they were having a positive experience. So much so that I finally had to say, this might be all right. Still nervous. The spring before my son started, I was at a district meeting with the superintendent and his staff, principals, teachers, leaders of the community, parents, and a number of people were reporting out on projects, including Nate, the principal at CMS. And I was so struck. He spoke with such incredible humility and transparency and a command and familiarity with the students and programs he was speaking about. I was blown away. And by the time he finished talking, I was no longer concerned. No matter what middle school had to offer for my son, I thought it is going to be okay under his leadership. And that's completely been the case. When my husband and I sat down for our first parent-teacher conferences, they all began with the teachers starting by talking to us about our son with such familiarity and detail, like they really knew him because they did. And these were teachers, of course, that saw him just one period a day, not like at elementary school where he's spending the same day with them. They really had gotten to know him, and that meant a lot to my husband and me. And now we have our third student at CMS who is an 8th grader, and we found that we weren't just experiencing beginner's luck. We found the same consistent dedication and interest from teacher after teacher after teacher. My daughter tells me she feels very supported at school. She feels very supported and safe as a person of color, and we're incredibly thankful for that. Now our oldest two are a sophomore and junior at the high school, and they made an incredibly smooth social and academic transition to the high school. They were completely ready for Eden Prairie High School, which can be a little bit like a small college. So we've had a great experience here. Again, I think we've had enough students, seen enough teachers, been here enough times to know that the good things that we've experienced are real and they're part of the foundation of the school.
Thanks to each of you for sharing your perspective on CMS. We're thankful for you and for your time. As we close, we want to recognize that some of this presentation may have generated some questions for you. So I'd like to draw your attention to the information on the screen for you to be able to reach out, and we will respond to your questions in a timely manner. Thank you so much for your attention in this presentation, and now I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Swenson.
So before we conclude our preview night, we'd be completely remiss if we didn't take this opportunity to talk to you about the amazing things that are happening as a result of the referendum. So first, thank you to the community for supporting our referendum. Not only is it going to allow us to transition 6th graders to our middle school, it is providing amazing spaces. First, we are going to have a brand new performing arts center. And aside from not having to travel to the high school for different performances that we have, it is going to provide the most updated space for middle school students. something that is not offered in many school districts that I know of. It's going to allow us to offer more theater opportunities for kids. It's going to allow us to have a music wing to our building. So we are so excited about that. We will have updated classroom wing, not only to accommodate an additional grade of students, but to provide cool learning environments that we haven't been able to before, including collaborative spaces that kids can use outside of their classrooms. We'll also have collaborative spaces within the current CMS building, where kids will be able to come out of their classrooms and work together in unique spaces with comfortable furniture. So we're excited about that too. We're expanding our cafeteria, which is going to allow us to feed kids more efficiently, have less disruptions during the day because we'll have fewer lunches. We will have a different space for our media center, and we're also building a brand new gym too, which is super exciting. So kids will have an updated space for different activities and different fitness things that they do through Phi-Ed. So thank you to the community for supporting the referendum, and amazing things are happening with construction. Hey, I want to thank everyone for coming to preview night. On behalf of the faculty and staff of CMS, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come learn more about our school. Thank you to Mr. Thompson, Ms. Edwards, Ms. Urbach, to Bonji, to Tori, and to Mr. Larson. We look forward to seeing you all in the very near future. There are a lot of exciting things happening at CMS. We look forward to greeting our new sixth graders next fall and just continuing the tradition of excellence at CMS. Take care, everyone.